live on Facebook, and I got the wrong keyboard. That's why. And we let everyone in. Where is this?
Up top.
At the top. Admit everyone. Yeah, there we go. Everyone's coming in, Jono.
Here we are.
Slowly populating.
Hello.
We made everyone wait. How's everyone doing?
Welcome.
Look at you two.
More people admitting. Let's take the waiting room out. Fantastic.
Wow, have a look at this, Jose. A lot of familiar faces.
Yes, a lot of familiar faces from a very strange year. A lot of supporters, a lot of friends, friends from all around the world. You know, thank you everyone for joining us tonight and a very special night. Finally, it's got the time to taste our amazing bottlings. You know, the stars of our 10th anniversary.
The moment is here.
The moment is here.
Waiting for.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. I'm gonna run a little bit through today, and as we always do, before we do anything, and we've done for the long, we're gonna make a drink, because nothing worse than waiting while
when you're thirsty and there's nothing in your glass.
So, Jono, can you wanna tell everyone the drink?
Yeah.
What do we got today?
Easy going, can do. So what we're going to do is you've got your Ichiru's molten grain, and we can't wait to explore and talk about the Chichibu Distillery, and this is one of our favorites. So we're going to pour the 30 mils, your whole 30 mils, into a taller glass. I'm using sort of like a long-stemmed wine glass here. So put your whole 30 mils in there. And what we've got is a little spiced ginger ale as well. I'm making Jose's.
I've got ice in the freezer.
As well as Dave's. And mine. So this is a beautiful highball, and we're mixing it with the Fever Tree spiced orange ginger ale, because Ichiru's molten grain is such an amazing whiskey, such an amazing blended whiskey, molten grain whiskey, that why would you mix it with something that isn't great? And this the spiced orange ginger ale is amazing. So I'll open that up with my bar blade and pour that in. Let's go about, you've got a 200 ml bottle in there. I go about half. So pour in about 100 mils in there. Boom, and you go 100 mils. Fill it up with a decent amount of ice. If you've got bigger cubes, let's go 3 or 4. But this is a long ball drink, so you want to put a fair bit of the ice in there. And then we've got a little bit of crystallized ginger, and this is ginger ale. The spiced orange ginger ale with the Ichiru's, a little bit of crystallized ginger, break it in half, pop that in there, and breaking it in half just allows the oils to move through, and you see a little bit more B come through in there, and it works really well. So there you have it, the welcome drink.
Welcome drink.
Cheers.
A little bit of a story about this, and I always tell this story. Many people might be the first time they join to our tastings. It's on every trip to Japan. The first thing I get there normally is to drink is beer. I love Japanese beer. The only problem with beer is that after 2 or 3 days in Japan, I cannot drink any more beer. So the next drink I move on, and that's been since my last second trips, is ginger highballs. So I recommend everyone that goes to Japan get a ginger highball, particularly an Ichiro's molten grain ginger highball. It's a great refreshing drink. And that's the way, just not to go around Japan too full,
It's a good little way to start it out. Salud. And so refreshing, particularly at this time of night when we're depending, I think we've got people joining from all around Australia, but also all around the world, and we deserve this little refreshment for the Victorians. It's about 35 degrees today.
Yeah. And so I'm going to introduce our guests today. We got a very good friend, dear friend from a long time, Fred Siggins. I'm going to spotlight Fred. Fred, unfortunately, now doesn't work for Sullivans Cove anymore. So, but we organized this cask with Fred for a long time. We organized the other cask that we bottled 2 years ago with La Maison de Whiskey, also with Fred. So it's been a supporter of Casa de Vinos for such a long time. And I think the reason we work tightly today with Sullivans Cove. Besides, they make probably our favorite single malt in Australia is Fred. Fred has helped us tighten those relationships. And how are you, Fred?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, mate, and happy birthday. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into these whiskies.
Amazing. Thank you very much for joining, man. And we'll get back to you when we get the tastes of the Sullivans. Thank you very much for joining. And I'm also going to introduce here Shu Misawa from Chichibu Distillery. Shu is a very dear friend also from Chichibu Distillery, joining all the way from Japan. Shu is one of the distillers at Chichibu Distillery. He also does the tours. An amazing person. We got to hang out with Shu in many whiskey shows around the world. We had great times. And thank you for joining from Japan, Shu. I appreciate a lot the support, you know. How are you? Good?
Yeah, good. Thank you for introducing myself. Congratulations, 10th anniversary.
Thank you very much, Shu. Thank you for joining. And I think everyone can't wait to taste these Chichibus tonight, and you tell us a little bit about the distillery and everything. Yeah. So yeah, how's the ginger ball going? Amazing.
Yeah.
For this 35-degree day.
Perfect for this sort of weather. I see a lot of good stuff going on in the chat. This Fever Tree, the spiced orange, I think is a sensational mixture for the Ichiru's Malt and Grey. Nail on the head.
And this has been a very difficult year. It's been a great year in certain ways. It's been a very tough year in certain other ways. And I think with the online tastings that we started back on the third week of March, we have acquired a different relationship with our friends, customers, which now are friends, you know, and these online tastings today are probably the way to move forward, I would say. And it's has made us a lot more close to our customers. Some of them been here for pretty much every tasting since March, right? Which is amazing. So this is a little bit of a homage to all the people that supported us and believed on us when we sent the first
the old and rare tasting.
The old and rare tasting in March.
Yeah.
When we asked everyone to take a punt to do an online tasting. We come a long way. We open great bottles, you know, and everyone has been part of this. Yeah. And today we got two very special whiskeys, another very great whiskeys also to present them. You know, which we've been talking about this for so long, John. Right?
It's just been the one we've been doing before. Yeah.
So as everyone gets here, the tasting order will be Ichiro's. It will be the Warhead first. It will be the Sullivans Cove Double Cask second, the Mizuna third, and the Sullivans Cove Single Cask fourth, and Chichibu fifth. I think he might be missing the Anthony might be missing the link. Right, you do. We gotta And I forgot to mention, because we ran out of our Warhead, we have had to replace the Warhead for some customers with the Ben Nevis 21-year-old. We're gonna, the ones that don't have the Warhead will have to use that whiskey, and the people, we ran out of Mizuna too because we sold too many sets. We're not expecting really to sell so many. We sold over 120 sets, right? So we also sent some as a replacement of the Mizuna, the Winewood Reserve. All right. All right. So grab your glass and let's pour the Warhead first. He didn't have the link, did he?
No, he's got it now. So
Anthony is a friend that lives very close to here. And
that's a good thing if you don't have the link.
He's one of those customers that just come in sometimes and buys just from here. So we don't we don't have his email. Buys from the point of sale, so we don't have his email to tell to add him to the, you know.
The new thing.
Yeah, it was too much to organize. This has been so now everyone has a little bit of Waterhead or Ben Nevis. I should have put you Ben Nevis, and then we can. This Ben Nevis. Why are we tasting? Sorry, why are we tasting the Waterhead tonight? We're tasting the Waterhead because it was one of the most interesting whiskeys we bottled on the last few years, right? Very biscuity, very difficult to get. Someone's blowing his nose, so let's mute that person. Yes. Have a little nose. Yep. What do you reckon, Jono?
Lots of biscuit. It's really interesting, and it's probably one of the first ones that you showed me when I came in the store, and I think that it's got an interesting sort of profile, and it's been probably one of the most popular ones. I guess the profile of it is quite accessible. You know, if you're into really, really peaty drams, you're still probably going to like that. If you're not into a lot of peat, this is going to be something that's still going to appeal to you. It's kind of a middle ground.
Yeah.
What do you feel about it?
I get a lot of what's called those crackers that the kids, Maria crackers.
Yeah.
Maria crackers. For who doesn't know, Waterhead is Glenfiddich. Is the way Glenfiddich sells this stock.
Yep.
Since obviously we are one of those champions of independent bottlings, and getting bottles like this is what makes us very happy. So whiskeys that are quite difficult to get, we cannot even name the distillery on the label, you know. And we bottled this one with Whiskey Nick Yui from Hong Kong. He might be watching here, and also with Helvetica in Perth. So yeah, there is more of this coming. It's just arriving next week. That's the only issue. It's been that very tough with COVID, getting things on time.
So that's pretty much the last bottle of this is this one here.
Yeah. No, but there's more of this also coming.
The exact same cask. There's still some more of that cask coming over.
Yeah, there's more of that cask coming over.
It's a beautiful dram.
Yeah, we shipped first half of the cask 2 years ago, and we ship now the second part of the cask. And there's also another special one coming in with the same shipment, but we couldn't make it happen on time. So fantastic.
It's cracking dram.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people in here, Jose, that have been, across all these tastings for the whole time. Do you think it might be time that we throw over to someone and see if there's any good tasting notes for this one out there? Because I know we've got a lot of really good noses in the audience today.
Yeah, fantastic. And we got Taro also from Chichibu.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see if I can find Taro. Where is Taro? Taro, I can't see you. Maybe I can introduce you too. There he is.
Yep.
Spotlight for everyone. There we go. How are you, Taro?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good to see you, man.
Congratulations anniversary.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. For who doesn't know, Taro is also one of the distillers at Chichibu, a very good dear friend too, like Shu. We met in many places around the world, in different festivals in Japan, Germany, So thank you for joining, Taro. It's a pleasure to have you in our festivities, man.
Oh, thank you for inviting. Thank you.
We got a couple other people joining too. Let me just find view. This will be easier like this. I can't see Heather. Where is Heather? View, gallery view. Heather, let's see if I can find you. Oh, there you are.
HT.
HT. That's why.
G'day, how you going, guys?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad at all.
Thank you for joining. Heather Tillett, she is the distiller for Sullivans Cove. He's got almost as many awards as the distillery herself.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining, Heather. Thank you for the support all these years.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's great to have all this amount of friends from the house.
Yeah.
They all are part of what Casa de Vinos is today and why we are where we are at. You know, why a distillery that where a shop that these amazing distillers like Chichibu Sullivans Cove decide to share cask with. So it's amazing to have that support.
It's very exciting.
Well, let's start now. Time to move on to the next whiskey.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
I
one
think-
question, Jose. One question. Why did you call it Casa de Vinos and not Casa de Whiskey or Casa de Tequila, Casa de Rum?
Casa de Rum. It's an amazing question. This, you know, Dom, actually, great question. I'm a winemaker by trade. I am an enologist. I study enology, and I work as a winemaker for 10 years. I came to Australia in 2008 to work for a big company called Lion. Today, that company is owned by Kirin, fun enough. I worked for one of their wineries, and I had enough after 2.5 years, almost 3 years of work with them, of the corporate and the big multinational environment. And I decided to quit my job and open my own retail store. At the same time, I decided to get married and have a child. So I did everything at once. Well, I did. Me and my wife, we did everything at once. And as the thing I knew back on the day just was wine, we decided to call it Casa de Vinos, or the House of Wine. That's the meaning in English. And basically, we started this business with only $40,000 that I had in savings. So we put 20,000 on fit out and 20,000 in stock. So half of the shelves were full with empty beer boxes. We couldn't afford to fill the shop with stock, of course. At that time, we were bragging ourselves around to get credit from different suppliers to fill our shelves. Fun enough, I sort of started getting into the whiskeys with a few friends that might be watching tonight. We started to, open what were at that time rare bottles of whiskey, and rare as like a Lagavulin PX Distillers Edition, Balvenie 15 single cask. But that's like around 7 years ago. Around 7 or 8 years ago, when we started to beef up the whiskey selection, we saw an opening that no one was doing at the time, which was, whiskey. I always loved whiskey. Uruguayans, I don't know if you know, but it's the country that has, I think, the third largest consumption of whiskey per capita in the world. Yep. Through that, as being a winemaker, what all winemakers love, whiskey. It's amazing. Ask any winemaker if they like whiskey, they do. Why? Because it's something that you learn, but you never practice. So you know about brews and brewing, and you know the whole process, but you never done distillation usually, other than in the lab or study at uni. So all the winemakers absolutely have a passion for whiskey. And I started to dig deeper and deeper, Dom, and basically started to acquaint relationships. We firstly started our relationship with La Maison de Whiskey back in the year 2016. 2015 was the first import we did with La Maison de Whiskey. Then we started with Chichibu back in 2016, importing a little bit of Chichibu. Then we started with whiskey agency Zanzibar, and 2 years ago we doing Balincha Malay. We are, what else, John? I can't get all the brands.
So the big ones, the whiskey agency.
Yes. Now, this year we started with Jack Weavers. We haven't been able to get the stock out of Europe. It's been a nightmare of shipping, but basically we've been strengthening the whiskey since then. And
Zanzibar as well.
Yeah, with Zanzibar, with Jens, we started back in 2017. That was our first shipment with Jens. And this is the way we have decided to go. So, to be honest, at this time, the brand is too strong to change to Casa de Whiskey, So, we just keep
Casa
the name.
de Vinos it is.
Casa de Vinos it is.
Ride with it into the sunset. That's what it's going to be. Even if there's not a bottle of wine on the shelf, it's Casa de Vinos.
I'm going to write that down. Ride with it to the sunset.
Ride with it to the sunset.
That's amazing. we're moving. Let's move on to the Sullivans Cove double cask. And there we go. I'll let you do the honors. Well, I'm gonna get Fred Seggings to let's see, gather review, and where we got Fred. There we go. Spotlight. There we go. Fred, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you very much for joining again. We picked, as remember when we were talking about the tasting, I was telling you, you very accommodately gave us a few bottles of double cask, which is one of your most limited products, or was one of the most limited products while you were working there, because this is the core of Sullivans Cove. You know, tell us a little bit about the whiskey we're tasting tonight. You know, why this is so important for Sullivans Cove. This is the bread and butter. This is, you know, this is how the kind of distillery started before the big awards. This is, you know, what is accessible to the normal person, you know, to the normal consumer.
Yeah, so this is, you're absolutely right. This is the sort of core of Sullivans Cove. It's kind of the most accessible product that the distillery produces because it's the one that they make the most of and the one that's also the least expensive. For anyone who's had any experience with Sullivans Cove, you'll know that it's generally known as a single cask distillery. So just one cask at a time, bottled, so only a few hundred bottles at a time. But this one in particular is the only vatted expression that the distillery produces, which is why they can make a little bit more of it. And so generally, still very, very small batches though. Sullivans will usually produce 4, sometimes 5 batches a year of double cask single malt, and only, you know, somewhere between about 800 and 12 or maybe 1400 bottles tops out of each batch. So still really, really small productions, but a little bit more than the single cask stuff that they're able to put out. This one in particular is combination of portions of 10 different casks, not the whole cask, but bits and pieces from 10 different casks, ranging in age from 11 to 17 years. So significantly older than most Australian single malt whiskies that you would find on the market.
Yep.
The majority of that volume would have been from 200-litre American oak ex-bourbon casks, which is really, you know, that's what Sullivans Cove have got the most of in the warehouse. That's really the sort of core flavour profile of Sullivans Cove. So really malt-driven, really chocolatey, really grain-heavy, and you get all those beautiful sort of vanilla and caramel characteristics that you would expect out of, you know, just standard American oak ex-bourbon casks. But also because of the extended maturation, certainly in the Australian climate, we're seeing a really beautiful texture coming from those American oak casks as well. So that really forms the kind of the malt base and also the textural base of this particular vatted expression. This one in particular also has some French oak ex-tawny cask, a little bit of American oak ex-tawny cask, and also a small portion from a cask that was used to mature Australian white wine previous to being filled with Sullivans. So, you know, Heather, who's on the line right now, the head distiller at Sullivans, has put a huge amount of work into this product over the last few years. And what she really does is take those beautiful American oak ex-bourbon casks and use all of those other fun casks that we have in the distilleries in small portions, sort of like a spice rack to add levels of complexity to that American oak base. So you'll start to notice on the nose and on the finish in particular, some of that influence from the European oak, where you get some of those nice kind of fruit characteristics coming through and a little bit of that herbal tannin on the finish as well. Definitely on the nose, you get some of that sort of fortified wine tawny character coming through. And yeah, and again, just big, beautiful texture, pretty approachable for an Australian single malt, but all the complexity that's something that you want from a premium whiskey, I reckon.
I must say that you know, it's Sullivans Cove double cask is quite rare. You know, let me just add spotlight. Maybe there we go. Sullivans Cove, the double cask is quite rare today to find it. You know, around some of the, you know, most notorious whiskey bars will have it very often. So, and you tend to forget how good and accessible it stays.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's which normally has a retail price around $250. And it has components, as Fred said, they go up to 17 years old. You know, this is so well married, so gentle.
Yeah.
You know,
The integration's amazing.
The integration is amazing. It's taken a long time to get this recipe, I would say, so right. You know, the consistency on Sullivans Cove is amazing. That's why, you know, that's one of the reasons the success. You know, and I would say many of the people on tonight's tasting, I have not tasted double cask for a long time, and you guys can say that this is like very, very well made and well married. Yeah. You know, I got Kia saying it's iced cappuccino with vanilla ice cream.
Love that.
Love that.
Really good.
It is iced cappuccino. It smells like that sort of iced cappuccino. Yeah.
And it definitely sort of moves towards that as well. It settles down on those vanilla-y, like buttery coffee notes.
Yeah.
They come through. At the start when I put it in, I was getting some of those like ripe fruits, even like dried fruits and like cherry, you know, like there's it's funny, there's also
and it has a spiciness like a rye spiciness, but it's all malt. You know, but it has a really nice spice and tang. That kind of also like kind of tang from rye. You know, some rice have that sort of dryness, which I love.
Brininess.
Yes, absolutely love. This is what I do honestly think these guys lead the Australian whiskey scene today. You know, as a small batch distillery, of course, we got the likes of Starwell, which are great friends, and Naturais too. But you know, those are bigger companies, and you know, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I hope everyone is loving this. I absolutely.
I certainly know. It's been a while since I tried this, and I'm like blown away now again. It's like it's a really cracking dram.
It's like this every time you open double cask, and that's why we put double cask here, because the consistency of double cask is amazing. You know, for being just battings, right? There's no Solera in here, so this shows the consistency and the quality. And when you go back to something you haven't tasted in a long time, and you go, oh yeah, hello. You know, that's why I love this so much. You know, it's amazing, Fred. I think the job Heather is doing is absolutely fantastic, and we can't wait what's coming, you know, in the next in the near future.
I don't imagine the foot's being taken off the pedal down there.
It's a shame to see you go, but you know, I know you stick around. You've been you know, but we'll talk about that maybe later. And thank you very much. We got Heather there. Just Heather, do you mind talking a little bit, just a little quick one? We're tasting your double cask. We're absolutely loving this, and I would like to know, what do you look at when you do the blending? When you put all the glasses in the lab, and you probably nose and mix bits and pieces, and you know, what do you look for double cask? What's on your mind?
Well, there's there is like a base recipe that I've kind of come up with, but because of the the small batch element of it, as you all understand, it's, you know, Sullivan's is such small batch production. It's the same without DC batting. It's, you know, we might at the most get 1,400 bottles in a batch. So there's going to be, you know, a consistent style and quality, but the individual kind of fingerprint of each of the batches is going to be a little bit unique. So that's a particular and interesting kind of mind frame to be working to start with. When it's not looking for a very particular exact flavor profile that's going to be the same every single time, you're actually looking for a particular style, so that you know, someone puts it to their nose and their mouth and thinks that's a Sullivans Cove double cask. It's unmistakable. But certainly the different portions of each barrel that go into it, as Fred mentioned, predominantly American oak ex bourbon, predominantly French oak X20 casks. But there's a few other bits and bobs that go in there in smaller portions, predominantly French oak white wine. That really come together to give you that double cask taste. But certainly it's all about finding balance and complexity from casks that just need to be with other casks. You know, they're not the ones they've got it all going on their own and are going to be the stars of the show in single cask format. You know, some casks just work better with others. So it is just creating that balance and complexity.
That's a great answer. And this casks that need to be married, these casks that are strong enough to go
Need to be
on
left
their
to
own.
shine.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. Yeah.
Pleasure, mate.
All right. Time to move on to next. I will keep on drinking here. So like,
Yeah. We could just
and
keep
chatting and everything.
We got to keep some sort of
we
decorum
like,
going.
10 o'clock at night. All right. I put some champagne on the fridge, after we finish with this. All right. Next one.
We've got the
Oh, you got double
Mizunara.
distillers. No,
That's
that's double
Got to get a
distillers.
bottle of Mizunara.
You might not find a bottle of Mizunara.
Might be hard to find. Give me a chance, Jose.
John is going to try to find a bottle of Mizunara. And while John tries to find a bottle of Mizunara, we're going to go directly to Japan to talk with Sho Misawa, one of the distillers at Chichibu Distillery. Sho, how are you, man? Thank you for joining.
Sorry.
How are you? How you doing?
Now our Chichibu Distillery is well.
Yeah, good.
Last year we construct second distillery.
Yeah.
That is 5 times capacity. So it's so nice.
Thank you, man. Everyone today will be tasting the Mizunara. A few people will have the one cask. So I would like you to tell us a little bit about Mizunara. It's maybe from the Leaf series. It's the most iconic product, the one we do have the most demand of in Australia. Of course, as such a rare wood. Why Mizunara is so important for Chichibu? What's this product? Why? Tell us a little about Mizunara, the oak, if you can. And the process of creating Mizunara Wood Reserve.
Yes. About Jose, I heard Taro won't introduce MW. So,
Fantastic. Then we go to Taro.
yes, pass my baton to Taro.
Okay, we go to Taro and then replace Spotlight. There we go. Taro, how are you, man?
Good.
All right. Do you hear the question, or I can maybe I need to make the question again? Do you hear me? No.
Yes.
Yes.
But could you say that again? One more.
One more time. Okay. So Mizunara Wood Reserve is probably the most iconic whiskey from the Leaf series. Is the one that we get the most demand of in Australia. Of course, Mizunara being Japanese, so tell us a little bit about the process of making this whiskey. In, let's say, while everyone's enjoying Mizunara, a quick 5 minutes, tell us a little bit about how important and how do you make this?
Okay. MWR, Mizunara Reserve means managed in Mizunara tank.
Yes.
So we blend 30 casks in one batch.
Yeah.
Then we put the whiskey into the Mizunara wood marriage tank for 2 or 3 weeks. Then we call Mizunara Wood Reserve. So it doesn't mean we use 100% of Mizunara cask whiskey. Mizunara Wood Reserve means managed in Mizunara wood tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got a Solera of Mizunara. You are, I would say, the only distillery in the world that has a Solera of Mizunara.
Yes,
Am I right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's a what is 5,000 liter, right?
No.
3,000?
3,000. Yes.
3,000 liter.
Yes.
And let's Jono, let's put some Mizunara on our.
Yes,
Let me just.
absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Let me
Amazing.
go. Yeah. Let's share the spotlight so we don't leave share Taro by himself there. All right.
So Mizunara and cheers.
Golden in color.
It's one of the most amazing Japanese woods. It's
Sensational.
really the only one. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think the coconutiness that I get from it, the sort of like rounded spice underneath. It's unique.
It smells and tastes almost like a sherry cask
Mm.
without being sherry. This is Mizunara. It's slightly different on the nose, but for the untrained eye, it could smell like sherry. I would say, Mizunara is a tree that takes around 100 and X amount of years, right, Taro? Many, probably over 100 years to grow. Correct?
Sorry.
Mizunara would take over 100 years to grow?
Yes.
So yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah,
Sure,
good.
please help me.
It's all good.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
it's Mizunara is a cask. It's a tree that takes over 100 years to grow. The problem with Mizunara is a tree that has a lot of knots and turns around, and
It's hard to make barrels out of.
hard to make barrels. The yield of barrels is very low with the tree. It has a lot of leaks.
And it was one of those happy accidents, from my understanding, that it was when they couldn't get a lot of European barrels into Japan, sort of during the Second World War.
Yeah.
The Mizunara casks were starting to become a bit prominent.
Yeah.
And then I think that they with a little bit of time in the casks, the whiskey probably doesn't find itself, but then a little bit of extra time, I think there's a bit of a sweet spot. Then the Mizunara really starts to shine, and you get those desired sort of like coconut, almost like tropical spice.
And also, what happens with Mizunara is you could see today in the market, there are a lot of whiskeys that are matured in Mizunara oak. Many of these whiskeys are not made with Mizunara, Japanese Mizunara. They are made with Russian Mizunara. Chichibu whiskeys, the vat is made with Japanese oak. And the barrels they made of Mizunara, or with Mizunara heads, they are all made with Japanese Mizunara from Hokkaido, so on the North Island. Obviously, whoever is selling the Russian stock of Mizunara wood is the marketing as generic Mizunara, but it's not Japanese. Yes. It's you would see across many other of the new Japanese whiskeys, and but it's not the and through many chats that we had with Yumi and Ichiros, they were saying that most of the distilleries purchase the logs from the same forests in Hokkaido. Right. So being a small circle with very few distilleries, they all know who draws out of the forest. But there's no foreigners drawing out of the forest. So what it means is like, when Nika draws out of the forest, when Nika, when Suntory draws out, Chichibu draws out of the forest. But when you get a random,
and you get a big release of Mizunara,
correct, that might not be Mizunara. Also, these casks are made, Taro, by yourself. Not you, but they are made at Chichibu, the Mizunara casks. Yeah, you got now a Cooper, right?
Yes, our Cooper made that casks.
So how many casks are you making per year now?
We 200.
Wow.
200 casks.
And how many do you have pure Mizunara cask, or all the casks are oak with Mizunara heads?
I'm not sure. Maybe Shu knows. Shu knows.
Sure. He throw you under the bus. We say in Australia. Sure. All the casks are Mizunara, pure Mizunara, or oak with Mizunara heads.
Mainly, we make pure Mizunara, whole Mizunara cask, 100%. Then some Mizunara heads cask. Basically, whole Mizunara cask.
Yeah. And from your experience, Mizunara, it gets a very strong flavor of wood in a very short amount of time, right? You cannot mature for long term in Mizunara, or is it? Yeah. What's the average age of a Mizunara when it needs to get out before it's too dry? Maybe. Have you tasted that, or this is a geek question? Sorry if you get you, but you know.
I think maybe more than 20 years old. 20 years.
No, but in the cask.
In the cask.
How long in the cask until you need to take it out, because it's very strong, the flavor, right? Or you keep it for long time?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you keep it for a long time? It's okay. I know that I might speak the...
Yumiko. Hey, Yumiko.
Yumiko can help.
Yumiko, please translate.
Yumiko is our translator. We add Yumiko on a spot. There we go. Now we got 4 on the go. Yumiko, can you translate, please, this? Mizunara gets a very strong flavor of oak in a very short amount of time. So, what's the average age until they need to take Mizunara wood out, the whiskey outside the barrel, because it gets a very strong flavor? Or they dry with many years on it?
ホセが言うには、水ならの風味っていうのはすごく強くって、すごい短期間でつくんじゃないかと言ってます。で、だから水ならのフレーバーをつけるにあたって樽の中に入れて熟成するのに、だいたい平均どのぐらいの期間を熟成させるのかと聞いています。それとも逆にすごい長期間熟成させるのか、平均どのぐらい秩父では水ならのカスクで熟成させるのかということを尋ねております。
Nice translation.
Thank you very much, Yumiko.
You're welcome.
Now, Taro, your turn.
Sure, maybe 3 or 5 years old. 5 years now.
In my opinion, of course, Mizunara, the whiskey get Mizunara flavor, same as American white oak, but very young age whiskey get coconut flavor, but matured a long time, coconuts changing the incense flavor, shrine likes or temple likes flavor.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Yeah. So it would be around 3 to 5 years old when the whiskey needs to get out. It's amazing that they can achieve a maturity in such a short amount of time, and actually being so great. You know, I've seen the comments. I've seen the comments on the chat, and everyone's absolutely loving this Mizunara. You know, honey, plum, a little bit of rye, toffee apple. You know, it's fantastic. It's and I think this is great that a country like Japan can have their own age also on this. You know, maybe one day we can bottle one of those Mizunara, a cask of 5-year-olds. You know, maybe one day. I throw it there, and you know, one of those, throw it out. And I just throw it down there, and yeah. All right. Mizunara, and some people had the Winewood Reserve. You know, where we got the Winewood Reserve. Some people had the Winewood Reserve. Taro, you want to explain a little bit about this product here? Because some people we had to send, because we ran out of Mizunara, we had to send Winewood Reserve. Can you explain a little bit about the marriage of the Winewood Reserve?
Okay. Winewood Reserve, we blend 100% of red wine cask whiskey. So it is different from Missionary Reserve. About we use a kind of casks. Sorry. So we use sherry cask and Mizuna cask and so on. It's Missionary Reserve. But wine reserve, we use 100% of red wine cask. So it is different. Then we use Burgundy red wine cask mainly Burgundy red wine cask. So yes.
If everyone, and I got a very good friend that is joined.
A little close up from Jose here.
There we go.
Yes. That
right
That's
side.
good. We can see that. Yeah.
That is, that's the on the left side. You guys can see the molten grain Solera, and on the right hand side you can see the Winewood Reserve egg.
Yes.
That is that is Solera of the Winewood Reserve, right?
Sorry.
The Solera for Winewood Reserve.
Yes, Solera. Yes.
Yeah.
How many liters?
2020. 2002. Sorry, 2,200 liters. 22.
It's you probably have on your mind how the French call it hectoliters. 22 hectoliters. The French refer to size of vats in hectoliters, which is a measure that no one else in the world uses. It actually does. That was the always hard thing when talking with someone from France about winemaking.
So the Mizuno, the double distilleries, incredible, and obviously we've got this amazing Chichibu. Your bottling that we're going to try, and so we're going to talk a lot more Chichibu.
Yeah.
Jose, and I don't know if I'm pushing the gun too early here, but it's something that we've got to at least consider. There's a couple of ballots for tonight.
Correct. So, and I'm going to thank Taro and Shu. We're getting back soon when we're talking about the Chichibu and Yumiko. Let's remove the spotlights here. And all right. So everyone that joined tonight and everyone that bought a ticket for tonight gets an entry to 3 sets that we are balloting tonight, right? So basically what we've done, we put all the orders on a spreadsheet, assigned every person a number, and we're going to use live a random number generator, and those people are going to have the chance to purchase another set.
So if your number comes up, and Jose will explain the number system, you have the opportunity to, if you want to, purchase another set of the Ichirus and of the Sullivans Cove. So
everyone can see here on my spreadsheet that we have basically put every person's name. When you see doubles, is people that has purchased multiple tickets, right? So,
we've got numbers 1 to around 114. Or
yes, correct.
Random number generator. We can all see it live, and if your number comes up, you have, if you wish to, the opportunity to purchase another.
So
set.
Here is we got a live number generator. We're gonna go to number 113. That's how many people has purchased tonight. So
number 1.
This is the most technological ballot we ever done.
Yep.
Right. Everyone's ready.
So that's generator.
And we're gonna show the winner and number 76.
All right.
We're gonna switch.
No one probably knows what numbers they are either, so it's going to be a surprise as well.
That's in order of purchase, basically.
Yeah.
So number 76, Levin Pang, and we're gonna mark Levin with an X. And
congratulations, Levin.
Congratulations, Levin. You will be able to purchase another set.
Well done,
And
Levin.
Lucky man.
do we do another draw after the Sullivans?
I think maybe we do one at the after the then maybe one at the end as well.
We one at the
Round
end.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we round it up.
Cool.
Yeah. So Levin, very lucky man. We sent him a message. I don't know if Levin is tonight. This we got around
Jumping up and down
There's
the views.
83 people tonight.
Yeah,
or
awesome.
83 cameras. But there might be more people
with
joining. A
double
few people
packs.
got double packs or triple packs. Some people that bought 4 packs. So yeah. All right.
Amazing. So Jose,
Single cask.
now it's time to jump into your 10th anniversary bottlings.
Single cask. 14-year-old Sullivans Cove. Hello.
Woo.
Woo. Jono, you want to do the honors?
Absolutely.
All right.
Why?
So for everyone to
From my
know,
backyard.
this project started almost on my brain 2 years ago. I thought about how I'm going to pull this out to organize and which are the distilleries that are the closest to me, which are the ones that mean the most to me, or which relationships and Sullivans and Chichibu were my choices. I think we started talking with Fred around January. We are in November. This is the chats with Fred started in January. And I'm going to put Fred in here to share.
Jose, I just found the message.
You got the message. Oh my God.
I found the message that you sent me. It was the 8th of October last year.
Oh, hello. That was in January. That's my failing. Yeah.
5 Ps. Prior preparation.
Amazing. That's technology now, right? I can ask for a cask on a WhatsApp message. When back on the day, people used to have to travel to the distillery which is amazing. Thinking about Fred, about the 10 years and everything, it was very big for us. And to be honest, anyone might not know this, but we were planning to do a festival this year for our 10th anniversary. Of course, that was never going to happen after March debacle. Yeah. But Sullivans Cove and Fred decided to believe on us, and that time where the festival was going to go through, and that's the same thing that we asked the same question to Chichibu, and Fred said yes, and I was over the moon. Fred
Bouncing off the walls.
bouncing off the walls, and Fred sent me 3 samples of Sullivans to pick off. And I took my time, remember? I took that. It was, and I got Jono to do dilutions. I do my own dilutions several times. It was not an easy task, It was actually a lot of fun. This is the most fun. This looks like this is not every day's job. There's a lot of job is replying emails and stuff. But the most fun is sitting down with the cask and test dilutions. This cask came at 68.7%, I think. Fred, thank you very much for this. Have an also tell us a little bit about this refill Sullivans Cove Cask.
Well, first of all, it's my pleasure. Obviously, Casa de Vinos has been so instrumental in developing the whiskey community in Melbourne and Australia in general, and especially with interesting single cask stuff, which is obviously what Sullivans Cove is known for. So yeah, when we had the opportunity to be involved in the 10th anniversary celebrations, obviously we kind of jumped on it and thought that'd be a fantastic thing to do. So what we ended up with, the story behind this cask is actually really interesting, because you can see the entire history of Sullivans Cove Distillery here in the very, very early days of Sullivans Cove. The very first casks that were filled up were virgin uncharred 300-litre American oak casks that were specifically coopered for Sullivans Cove. So they were coopered here in Australia. They never had bourbon in them. They had never had anything in them. And that was filled up with a first generation of Sullivan. Once that was decanted, and that was the very, very first generation of Sullivans Cove to ever be bottled. Once that was decanted, they were filled up. They were sent to the cooperage, charred, and then filled up again with new make Sullivans Cove, and then left alone for 14 years. This is the result. So these casks have never had anything in them except Sullivans Cove single malt, but this is the second go around. Yeah, and I think that obviously 14-year-old single cask refill, pretty much unheard of in Australian single malt whiskey. I mean, 14-year-old single malt Australian whiskey in general, pretty hard to come by, let alone refill. But it's something that I think Sullivans is really proud of, because one of the hallmarks of that distillery has always been not overpowering the spirit character with oak and allowing the grain character to really shine through. So refill casks, obviously brilliant at doing that, are really allowing the spirit character to come to the forefront. And I think of these whiskeys as being somewhere sort of in between, like what you would see from a virgin oak cask and from a refill bourbon cask, because really that's the only other sort of examples that we have from Scotch to compare this to. But, you know, I'm seeing in the comments people saying that this is just tropical all day. And that's absolutely right. Like with this one, to me, the first thing that I get off of it is just like opening a fresh jar of coconut oil on a hot day, like really beautiful sort of organic coconut oil, not like sunscreen, but like actual coconut.
Yeah.
And
Hawaiian tropic.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mangoes and pineapples and all that kind of stuff, which we get out of the sort of like long fermentation times that Sullivans Coves uses, like getting all that beautiful tropical fruit character to come out of the wash. And yeah, and again, you know, at the ABV that you decided to bottle this at, Jose, 56.5, it's obviously got a bit of punch to it, a bit of a higher ABV than you would usually see Sullivans Cove bottled at, so that's always good fun. Definitely got some grunt and some power to it. Yeah, and a really tasty whiskey, and something that I was very, very proud to be a part of. So thanks for having us on board with this one, mate. Cheers. Thank
you, man. And everyone that knows me with whiskey, they know I love fruit. For me, it's all about fruit. This fruit in whiskey is the one thing you cannot produce. You cannot mask fruit. The fruit comes from the distillate, right? It's the core of the distillate. Then when you're using different oak casks, what tends to happen is that fruit might disappear, might not, you know, but it's very hard to find really natural fruit whiskeys, particularly in Australia at the age of 14 years old, right? This was an amazing cask at 68.7%, but as everyone knows, I also love cask strength, and as much as I would have loved to bottle it at cask strength, it would have been a lot. It would be a lot. It'd be a big challenge. So I honestly chose 56.5 to be the let's say most diluted ABV I could find it very pleasantly drinking. Yeah. But this whiskey can take water, and the idea is, you know, is if you find it a little bit fiery, yes, it's 56%, right? It's gonna be fiery, and that's the idea. But you can put a little bit of water, and a lot more of that strawberry shortcake comes up, a little more of that banana, mango, and you know, that's what Sullivans calls after 14 years, right? After 14 years, it's fruity in Australia. 14 years in Scotland for fruitiness, it's all right, it's normal. 14 years in Australia for fruitiness is very difficult. So without being dry, you know, that's one of the key things of these casks is not dry, right? After 14 years. So it's absolutely stunning, you know, and thank you, Fred, for, you know, sending these samples. And, you know, this is, what do you reckon, John?
I love it. I think this is incredible, and it's both such an incredible sort of expression of what you love to do with whiskey, Jose, in that it's probably a little bit of a higher ABV normally than Australian whiskey would be presented at, but also I just get so much of the traditional Sullivans Cove notes, profile, and everything from it.
The
Sullivans
savory,
Cove,
the dryness,
like some of the
you know?
first whiskey I ever drunk, you know, from Tasmania. This is the sort of the first thing that ever came across my table, which was pretty lucky, I guess. So it's got a bit of nostalgia in there for me, and I think that this single cask is a cracking one. I think you guys have all done a great job.
And we got some regulars that have been tasting whiskey with us for a long time. I want to ask their opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
Where is my man, John Jankowski? I saw you earlier. You're getting attacked by a wife. Shoot. You're getting attacked by a wife, John. How are you, man?
Yeah, very good, very good. She sees one on the screen and that's it. She just lost it.
John, you're one of the ones that have been with us since March on tastings, and they're supporting us, and I thank you so much for all that. That's why I wanted to ask you, what do you think about it? Give me some tasting notes.
This is absolute tropical bomb, which is what I wrote down in the comments. Is like pineapple. There's mango going through it. It's very creamy, like a hint of spice that goes through it, like the cinnamon, and it's breakfasty. It's a very breakfast whiskey, but it's breakfast with balls to it too. Like that ABV just gives us such a creamy, chewy mouthfeel. So this is, mate, you've nailed it with this particular bottling. I am an absolute fan of it.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to ask another mate, Matt Bailey. I got him out of the blue. He probably has to, yes, there we go. We got Matt Bailey here. How are you, mate?
Hey, guys. How you going?
Matt Bailey has been one of those supporters of me after tastings on the weekends at night when, the brain after being for how many, 20 weeks in lockdown, goes like ranting out of everything. You rant about the porridge you get in the morning up to, I don't know, whatever you see on the news, and, out of so many chats. Thanks for joining, man. You're one of my dear friends, whiskey friends.
The feeling is mutual, and this is an awesome evening, and thank you so much for inviting me along.
What do you reckon of these Sullivans, Matty?
I've just been enjoying it. I think that comment someone made earlier about this being the DNA of Sullivans being is so much there, and that it's not sort of the thing often with single casks, which is what I deal in every day, is that there's often that expectation that a single cask will be so far removed from the DNA of that distillery, and I think that's not often the case. And when it isn't, it's almost a welcome surprise in a way, and I really appreciate this. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt, for joining, and
of course, yes.
Thank you for hearing me at night when we have our chats,
mate. our midnight phone calls,
our midnight rants. Matt, for who doesn't know, Matt is the Australian SNWS ambassador, and also one of the people that I know that is outstanding knowledge about whiskey.
Two of the biggest probably whiskey nerds, I'll say, in Australia. So sometimes we just wake up in the middle of the night and give each other a call. And
he hates whiskey on discount, which I love. You know what's going to throw that something like that.
Yeah. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I don't like it. we had a lot of those chats, and I saw my other very good mate from Sydney. Scotty Fitzsimons. How are you, Scotty? I miss you a long time, and I haven't seen you in...
Bloody good, mate. But let me say, you're looking fantastic tonight.
Thanks, man.
You're looking a lot better than me, I'll tell you that much.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining. Scotty runs the Old Barrel in Sydney, the best independent store in New South Wales. A big whiskey and Pinot Noir fan. And thank you so much for all your support. We've been at the shows every year for the last 3 or 4 years at the Old Barrel. Thank you for joining tonight. I know you had a tasting going on too. Just a little quick one. What do you reckon about these Sullivans?
That's what we're on, isn't it? Because as you say, I've just jumped in, and first, before I say anything, congratulations on 10 years. You know more than most that this is not an easy game to play, and I was lucky. I got to walk into an established business. You've built something from scratch, and that's very, very admirable. So Congratulations, and it's a huge achievement. And what you've done in throughout this year has been excellent as well. But yes, I assume we're on your single cask.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is the
beautiful.
Sullivans Cove single cask. Yes.
Yeah. Which is I thought we might have already gone through the double cask, but I think was it John that was talking about pineapple before and that tropical fruit. I was sort of leaning that way, and as soon as he said it, I can't smell anything else. But DNA classic Sullivans in its most naked, honest form.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it, and I've just opened mine, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time with it. But very, very cool.
Thank you, Scotty, for joining. It's I thank you for all the work. Scotty's been running daily webcasts about wine, whiskey, gin, and everything. And you might be one of the people that's been contributing the most at the moment, together with Matt Daly. So with content. There's so much. Sorry, sometimes I leave it too direct, but there's so much rubbish there. But you guys have a lot of content, and which is great. And thank you for helping the category all around and supporting, the industry from the small side. Yeah. Thank you, Scotty.
It's been amazing, and as I said, what you've done, and not just having the people in the Zoom, but going live on Facebook to let other people know that it's happening. The guys that are listening have done an excellent job as well. So it's been a team effort. And, unfortunately, every now and again, you have to get Matt Bailey onto your stream. So it does become rubbish content pretty quickly. But other than that, it's been pretty good. So.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the burn. I can't get burn off Scotty that it's not worth being here. Come on.
All right.
Awesome. This double cast is... this single cast, your single cast is cracking, and I'm loving it. Jose, should we do one cheeky ballot before we move on?
We're gonna go do another ballot.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do another ballot, and okay, I'm gonna put my glass down. We're gonna share my screen, and we're gonna share the random
number generator. You could win it twice as well.
The random number generator. So
76.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna share my spreadsheet so everyone knows that everyone is
everyone can see the numbers.
Everyone can see the numbers.
Don't stress.
Don't stress.
Who's number one?
Are
you number one, Jose?
No, I'm not number one. I don't have a number.
Oh, okay.
Yang Xiao, that's number one. That's or number one is nothing. It's two.
Okay.
Number one redraws. It's number two.
And Russian.
Yeah.
9, Dexter.
Yeah, Dexter. We got Darren.
11,
I got 2.
Alex and Beck.
Alex, Joss, David, Kelvin.
Everyone in there.
Yeah.
Dom at number 43.
Dominic.
Anthony Koutafidis.
Chris. Yeah, Kevin got 4 spots. Yeah. Simon, Yeah.
There's a few good ones in there. All right. So Anthony Barnes got 2.
So everyone knows, and we're gonna go now and
with
share
the random number generator.
Yes, there we go. And do we got drums? Generating number 79.
79.
Oh, who is 79? Let me stop the share. We share the other spreadsheet. And we got number 79. 79.
Warren.
Warren
Hill.
Warren Hill.
Warren.
We're going to put an X there.
There we go. Whack it in for Warren. Our good friend Warren Hill.
Say, so we don't forget that Warren. Congratulations, Warren. If you are watching, you're a
champion, and you've been supporting a lot of our tasting. So I'm glad Warren's won one.
Yeah, me too.
It's been going through
Warren's very happy today.
Absolutely.
Shall we kick on for the next one?
I think so, Jose.
Jose, we love you.
Who's that? It's like someone.
Everyone's talking.
That was Warren from the darkness.
Oh, that's Warren
from the darkness.
There you go, Warren. Happy days.
Oh, happy. Thank you, guys.
Where's Warren? Okay, let me just hang on.
We'll find him.
We find Warren. Now you can talk, Warren. We'll highlight you.
Yeah, I can talk now.
Thank you. Warren!
There he is at
Warren,
the top.
Warren, every time Warren comes in here, he leaves with 3-4
Way
bags.
more than I expected.
Yeah,
A lot. Yeah,
you know,
every one of those.
yeah, Warren.
Yeah, every time.
Warren, thank you so much for your support and
I have a special
all this
collection
time.
of puzzle tools. It's true.
It's yeah, amazing. Yeah, lucky man, Warren.
Absolutely. Warren's a lucky man, and not a better man could have won. So Warren, enjoy the rest of the night.
Yep. And okay,
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. And you've been supported by friends.
What's that?
Party going on.
There's a party going on.
Warren's
Someone mute Warren. There's a party going on before we all go to the jail for irresponsible service of alcohol. Warren, all good.
Cheers, Warren.
No. All right. And let's go to our Chichibu Cask right now. Right? This is another dream come true, right? I remember the first dream come true was when 2 years ago I asked Sullivans Cove to give me a cask to present in Singapore for La Maison de Whiskey's Whiskey Live, and somehow on his insane mind, Fred said yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is the biggest thing ever. And let's get a Tasmanian artist to a label. And that was the biggest thing we've done then ever, right? It was so important for us, and sharing the cask with La Maison de Whiskey. So for me, one of the most important independent bottlers and stores worldwide was huge. And by that time, I kept asking about, casks. Can I get a cask in Chichibu? Can I get a cask? And finally, last year, might have been in October too, after Fred's message, I asked Ichiro and Yumi, and I don't know if let me see if Yumi is not, maybe she joins a little bit later. Yumi, I asked Ichiro if we could get a cask for our 10th anniversary. And we hadn't planned this whiskey show, right? This would have been a fantastic show, right? We would have a single cask of Chichibu and Sullivans Cove would have been massive, right? Like huge. Please pour yourself your tasting.
So, Jose, I'd love to hear a little bit about Chichibu, because I know that the Chichibu Distillery, when I started working here, you said to me, and we talked about whiskey a lot, and you pointed to Ichiru's and Chichibu, and you said to me, this is the one thing that you need to learn about, because this is one of the most important things to me. So
Clase Azul and Chichibu.
So Clase Azul and Chichibu, you didn't have to teach me much about Clase Azul, but Chichibu,
You knew about Clase Azul.
Chichibu obviously has a very close place in your heart. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Chichibu?
When we started to stock whiskeys and expanding our range of whiskeys, at that time there was a lot of availability of Japanese whiskey back maybe 2014. Maybe around 2014. I remember having Ichiro's Malt the first, Chichibu the first. I remember having port cask, water cask back then. I fell in love with the craftsmanship of this. Of course, this fell in love with the packaging, I must say, back then, right? But when I opened the bottles, it was like amazing balance. It was all about balance. I didn't know as much I know today about whiskey, and I'm very happy to have championed them as in Australia for a very long time. And I would say I started to research about Chichibu. I got in touch with the distillery, and I started to learn about the philosophy of the distillery, very similar to Sullivans Cove, of craftsmanship, small scale, and creating their own style. Something that is beyond commercial. Of course, commercial pays the bills, but one of the things that I thought back then was missing on Japanese whiskey was edge, right? Japanese whiskey historically has been very safe. Japanese whiskey has no one can. I always say no one can dislike Japanese whiskey because it's very safe. You know, it's always. But Ichiro had the peated. It had quarter cask, really concentrated whiskey. The peated, heavily peated. You couldn't find heavily peated whiskey in Japan. You know, it was almost impossible. You know, and he was doing this from a point of view of having an edge, because it's also perfection on the imperfection. You know, something that is imperfect is also amazing because of the edge, being totally different. And I fell in love with Chichibu. Like, and over the years, you know, chats and this, and you know, we finally found ourselves importing Chichibu to Australia and being the official distributors for Chichibu. And last year, because it was 10th anniversary was coming, we asked Chichibu to if we could bottle a cask for our 10th anniversary, for our celebrations. And very kindly, they said yes. It did took a long. It was not a straight yes. It's not like with Fred. It was a bit more broken.
It's not like
yes.
asking your butcher to make you some sausages.
Yeah, we're talking about the most demanded distillery, Japanese distillery in the world, pretty much. So it took a little bit more chats. But finally, we got 3 samples where we picked out of specifications that we, because of COVID, I couldn't go to Japan and pick casks. So we it's like submitting a wish list. It's like sending a letter to Santa. Because, you know, this is, you know, sometimes you might get the copy. You know, the copy Xbox, you know, the family game. I was back on.
And I think the cask selection process out of those samples is really interesting. It interested me because I come in and it'd be 9 a.m. earlier, and Jose's sitting there trying the samples. We'd be like, "Oh, you're getting into it early." But he's like, "No, you've got to try it at breakfast. You know, you've got to try it at lunch. You got to try it. You got to try little bits." And you've got to find what really works for you.
That's a procedure I always follow with samples we get. I try them in the morning, before breakfast, after breakfast. I try them at night when I'm really tired, but after work, with brain is different. I try them after lunch. I try them with Jono, you know. I don't try them with my wife. She doesn't drink whiskey, but she sees me trying them in different times. But basically, it's quite a thorough process. I want to be convinced what I taste is what I love. You know, some people might not love, but it's what I honestly do love. And you see me doing that. We've been here with like 10, 15 samples, and, you know, we're going through, you know, and after a while, it's like tiring. You know, it's like,
yeah,
you know,
there's always one that stands up.
And cask 3886, 3882. That was the chosen. It's a 6-year-old second fill bourbon. I hope everyone is nosing now. Yeah. What do you think, John? You tasted this a couple of times, but this is the public.
I've tasted this a couple of times and I love it. It's cask very well integrated. To me, it's got a lot of really nice, your beautiful sort of like, I guess, some Chichibu notes that I often get through the different Chichibus is some of that sort of tropical fruit, but not like your ripe fruit, like more of your fruit that's on your trees, like a little bit of the coconut and viney, as well as having that sort of like a little bit of grassiness and earthiness underneath it.
I get a little vanilla in this, a little bit of that sort of overripe mango. Again, fruit forward. I love bourbon cask, and that is, I think, what Chichibu does the best is bourbon cask. That is the Chichibu is a great spirit, fantastic, and you can see with a 6-year-old. This is totally cask strength, untouched and anything. No, you know, I thought, to be honest, I thought 63 point, how much we bottled this at 62.8. It was a little bit hot, but to a whiskey like this, I would not bring it down. I let the consumer bring it down.
Yeah.
You know, and this one can take a little bit of water. You know, can you get a little bit of water?
Yeah, we get the dropper and we'll add a couple of drops in. And
yeah, let's see what people think. And Taro or Sherry, which one of you has a sample and wants to share a little bit about Chichibu's single cask, what it means for Chichibu single casks? Taro, you or Shu? We start with Shu.
This product contain vanilla, honey, pineapple, liqueur, apricot, rich flavor. Then this is very younger than these products, but this product is have richness. Matured in bourbon barrel. Bourbon barrel is our basic style. Bourbon cask is easy to find the character of distillery. So you can feel how carefully Chichibu whiskey is made.
Who's talking there? I cannot hear. No.
Has been all right.
Okay. This is an amazing Chichibu. Like my exact thoughts with this was from the samples we got, it was the most floral, the most pretty. There was a younger cask, there was an older cask. I'm gonna put a little bit of water, just to, I would say around 5-6 drops, because it's still, quite high ABV.
And Jose,
yes,
this is an incredible whiskey to me, because I think that we're seeing a lot of younger independent bottlings coming out of Scotland, because I think, we all know that everyone's kind of running out of older age statement whiskeys. And to be honest, I know that age is everything, but I've been pretty disappointed by some of the sort of sub 10-year stuff that I've seen coming out of Scotland. But this is just brilliant. Like, it's got the waxiness and the fruit is there, the texture's there, the complexity's there. You wouldn't leave that in a cask for a minute longer if you didn't have to, because it's brilliant just how it is. And at 6 years old, aged in a cooler climate, that's just.
Guys, add a little bit of water and you see how much fruit straight comes out. It's like brighter. It's so much brighter. It's just like it's sensational. It's this is the for me, this is the core of Chichibu. It's a fruit. It's a distillery that it shines. It's pineapples. It's pears. It's compote pears. It's
mangoes.
It's absolutely with a little bit of water, just a little bit of water. And I don't normally add water to my whiskeys, but this it was not. It was not doing justice to dilute it. It was just making cask strength and let people add the water, right? And you see how much more bright it is. Hang on, let me get. I found. Where did you get?
Me is coming.
Yes. We got another friend here, Julian, from Whiskey and Element. There we go, Jules. How are you, brother?
Hey, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good. For who doesn't know, Julian is the owner of Whiskey and Element, together with his partner, Brooke. One of the best bars in Melbourne and the whole country. Australia, it's been one of those, as you posted the other day, it said that we grew together. I remember when you walked in here, when you were living around the corner, man. Congratulations also you guys on your 10 years.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thank you for joining. Just a quick one. What do you think of the Chichibu? That's a distillery you also absolutely love. I know that.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to visit the distillery in November last year, and I was shown around by the guys there and extended all the hospitality. So thank you very much for everyone that showed us around. Really appreciated it. But yeah, this whiskey, mate, you've chosen well, and I think it's interesting when we get to choose our, the casks that we want from distilleries, because we tend to err towards the styles that we like. You said before that you really like the fruity styles, and as soon as I put my nose in, I went, oh yeah, that's why Jose chose this one. It just has so much of it there. It's just like a fruit salad. Actually, I remember when I was at Ballot Distillery in warehouse number 1, and Eddie McCaffrey took us on the tour, and he says, you know, you guys haven't really asked me for anything. What's going on? You know, what, are you gonna like, you know, just pop out now and be like, yeah, so we want to buy this crazy cask? And we're like, no, we just came to see the place. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I better show you my favorite cask then. Oh, okay, sure, no worries. Show us your favorite cask. And he goes, I'm sorry, but it's empty. Oh, okay, cool. So let's see it then. And anyway, he tips over this cask and have a smell of that one. And no joke, it was full on putting your nose into a fruit salad. And I actually am getting a little bit of that character of that fruit salad off this one. So, you know, that's some pretty high praise right there, man, to be compared to those fruit salad like Bamors. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you, man. That's actually us thinking the same thing. It's like that's if there is something that is fruity, is old Bamor, old Afro, you know, like and I think it's one of the things that's like you know me, it's like our search for fruit is you know, it's eternal. Yeah, right. It's this is absolutely stunning.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The water brings out everything that's good on the whiskey, you know. But the good thing is that even water doesn't make it dull, which is very rare. So also when you add water to a whiskey, you're sacrificing sometimes a lot of flavor, taste, but not on this whiskey, which is great. This has been absolutely sensational.
Really livening it up.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got in here to share some of the people that's been. Where is? There we go. Dom. And I'm gonna take Dom. I got you out of the blue.
Hey guys, no, I've been tapping away here and just quietly enjoying these.
Where's your tux?
This is my tux. It's been my tux for the last 9 months. I haven't worn a collar in 9 months, man. So, wow.
You've been one of those friends that been there since day one of this lockdown that help us through the mud to keep us sane, drinking and, you know, sharing whiskey and talking nonsense sometimes. Thank you for joining. What do you think about this Chichibu?
Oh, I'm loving it.
It might be the first Chichibu in your collection, yeah?
No, I've got some other ones, but nothing as special as this one, that's for sure. And I think it was one of the comments I wrote early on. The mouthfeel of this thing is just amazing, just absolutely amazing. And the oiliness, it just the minute it came onto my palate, it was something that really stuck out for me. And I've really enjoyed these. I mean, they've all been great, but these last two have been special. Hats off, mate. The selection process that you went through, you've chosen two amazing whiskey.
Thank you very much, Dom. I appreciate a lot the nice words, and
you know, Dom's been there through. I think Dom's one of those ones. Dom, Justin. There's a few that have done like all of these tastings during lockdown in Melbourne, and that's a lot. Like,
what was the movie? Is that the 400? The one, the Sparkling?
Yeah,
he's one of them.
Yeah,
they were there. It's one of the Sparkling. You know, we through the whole lockdown, in and out of the lockdown. You know, we're doing cheeky deliveries to Dom, dropping off a couple bottles here and there, like a few other people. That's another one that's been Dave Phillips.
And Owen, who's talking
and Owen. Owen,
evening, boys.
The samples.
Owen is the man that bottled all this whiskey and extended.
I've been bottling it for a good few weeks, and it's amazing to taste it. I think that Sullivans Cove is probably one of the best whiskeys I've had in my entire life, and that Chichibu is on the same level. It just takes water like nothing else. It's just awesome.
So we were. So my thoughts, Jose, was that the Sullivans is just such a beautiful balance. It's very rare in Australian whiskey to have that balance, and Sullivans has always had that. So for me, that was it's just such a great whiskey, to be honest. And then the Chichibu, you know, we tried it and we just couldn't get it. And then we started adding water and it just completely transformed that whiskey. And it went from something that we couldn't really get into something that was truly amazing. So I guess the trick is, you know, try adding water sometimes, because it just completely transformed that whiskey. And I think you said that you allowed people to add water to taste, and I would just say add water because it's completely different. So well done.
Thank you.
And you're looking very dapper. Very impressed.
That's a good touch, Dave.
Good, huh?
I wonder where he got this
That
from.
rented ducks, man. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Phillipses.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing missing now is just a beard, and he'd be set.
Yes. Yeah. And here we got a very special person for me. What a very good dear friend that I haven't seen in a very long time. She's quite far away. And she might be thinking now, Yumi, how are you? Yumi Yoshikawa, she's the brand ambassador for Chichibu. One of the persons that make all this happen for us. A very special person, very close to my heart. How are you, Yumi? Thank you for joining. I know you're far away.
No, thank you very much. I just came back to home and it's really nice. Congratulations for your anniversary, and I like your tie.
Thank you. Yumi, you're a big part of Casa de Vinos for the support you've given us for many years. You know, you were the one that sent us the samples, and I thank you for that. And we know each other for a very long time. We've been in so many countries also together, joining. Chichibu is a very special distillery worldwide today, as well as his Sullivans Cove. You know, they are all getting a recognition that is very difficult for distilleries to get. You might be today one of the most recognized people in Japan for whiskey, because you devoted your life to the exploration as a geek of whiskey and as a, you know, as an ambassador. Thank you very much. You had a chance. Do you have a sample with you? Yes, you do. Give me a little bit of what you think of the cask, and just a quick one.
Yeah, always I'm picking up some kind of minty note from Chichibu flavor. Then I got it, and also like the color is very green, the fresh green, minty green, or like green apple and pear. So always, I feel like this is kind of Chichibu's classic flavor. So I'm really happy that you chose this one.
Thank you very much. And one of the things that probably a lot of people here is waiting to hear, you guys just released the 10-year Chichibu, the first 10 years. Congratulations on your first 10 years also to Sho, Taro, and Yumi. What is next? What can we expect to see next? When is the new, whatever I might ask you, you can decide if you want to answer or not. When is the new distillery coming online on, you know, what's coming? This exciting. Everyone's excited about Chichibu, always. You know, tell us a little bit what you can tell. Maybe.
Yes, you know, like always Ichiro is like non-stop. So his brain is working 24 hours. So that's why the second distillery happened. And I'm sure that 2011, we launched our first 3 years old whiskey from the first like original distillery. So we started from 2019, the second distillery. So the 3 years old might be launched in 3 years time. But always Ichiro keeps saying that his big dream is tasting the 30 years old of Chichibu Distillery, like a whiskey from his distillery. So I'm sure he's keeping launching 15 or 18, 20 to 30 years old. Yeah.
Amazing.
The second distillery.
It's we can't wait to taste the 10-year-old.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a treat for Australians.
It's amazing.
I cannot thank you enough for the support you guys are giving us. From a small business as we grew 10 years ago, as I said, with $40,000 in investment, to today to be one of the leading retailers and importers in craft whiskey distilleries, and and also I want to think that we contribute a lot with knowledge and education, which is the most important thing. That's why we get the friends like Matt Bailey, like Julian, like
Scott.
Kelvin and
Like
Yao,
Kelvin and Yao.
what's here in no, sorry, had a reverb. Like Scotty from the Oak Barrel. I want to think we're part of that crew that really support whiskey and try to build the industry. A little bit like what Chichibu does in Japan, supporting small bars and supporting independent retail. The same thing that Sullivans Cove does, supporting independent retail and small bars. It's how we all got here where we are. It's like we all have helped each other. This is and today having all these whiskeys together, it's just sensational. What do you reckon?
It's been a absolutely cracking lineup, Jose, and this Chichibu is just blowing me away. The Sullivan's Cove for me, it's nostalgia, but this Chichibu it's amazing. It's something that's going to be obviously a distillery that's made a huge mark, but I think a big future of what is going to happen with you here at Casa de Vinos, because this is such an incredible whiskey and a big part of what goes on here. The whole lineup has been awesome, and to see all the familiar faces has been amazing.
The most important part that a lot of people in the industry do not understand, there is, if I would, and this is a very polarizing thought, but there's two parts of the industry. There is the commercial part, and this is the part that tries to grow. And there is one part of the industry which these two distilleries are very important, which is what money cannot buy these distilleries, right? This is distilleries that is not about the sales. It's not about it's about the build of the industry, and that's why we have been able to work together with them, and we align on the same philosophy. It's they have a philosophy of sustainability of the liquor industry, of the whiskey industry, of independent retail. Making themselves known, so which is great. I think, and I'm going to add Fred here also to our 4-share. Shu, Taro, Yumi, Fred. I just want to thank you. Thank you very much for supporting us. It's been an amazing 10 years. You guys are very much responsible of how we got, and I thank you so much for supporting us.
Cheers. And I think that there's absolutely. Should we do the one more ballot?
And before saying goodbye, we're gonna do the last ballot and the third ballot. And we going to remove everyone from the spotlight. And all right, there we go. Third ballot of the night. Some people have been sending me messages, like private messages.
Congratulations, Warren,
through
on the first one.
Congratulations, Warren. Warren might still be partying out there.
Warren's turning it up.
Sorry, the people that's been sending me messages, I don't have really time to read.
It's hard to read when you're doing a live stream. That's just the nature.
We might need
of it.
Owen next time here, just doing Owen. Next time you're here.
20-year anniversary, you got to come in, mate, and do it.
Yeah. The next 10 years, it's gonna be 22, no 32, 32. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. All right. Everyone's watching the generator.
Here we go. Generate it up.
What? Ready?
And here we go. Lucky number 39.
Lucky number 39. There we go. And we stop the share. We go and share the spreadsheet
What have
that
we got?
and we got to number 39. Reese
Where's
Kelly.
Kelly? Hey,
Reese Kelly.
Racey boy.
Congratulations, Reese.
Well done, Racey.
And we say this because we need to get in contact with Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, Reese. You got to buy a set of our bottlings.
Of the 10th anniversary bottlings, which are amazing. Jose, if we can go to the gallery view now, and we can see everyone there, I think it'd be remiss of us not to say a big thank you to all the people here. John, the Boilermaker Man, Dexter, Joss,
there we go.
Jim.
We got Matty Fowler, Paul, VJ, Joss. Jim Chitsos is not there, but Laura is there. We got Simon and Alyssa. We got your dad. We got Blake.
D. Bodle.
We got Scott. Plummer. Alex also. Justin's drunk. We need Justin.
We've got to see what Justin's
We
thoughts
gotta
are.
talk with Justin.
He's a doyen.
Let's change because this is different computer I'm using here. Where's Justin? Justin,
He's
talk.
gone to the other screen.
I know.
There's too many pages.
There's too many whiskeys, not pages.
There he is.
There is Justin. There you go. Justin, my boy.
Relegated.
How are you, man?
Good, guys. Congratulations. Massive achievement, mate. I think what's very special about the shop you run is like you say, it's probably the support you provide to people like us who are on our whiskey journey, and that friendship, and just the quality of the products and the service you provide, mate. You're a real trendsetter in the industry. So well done.
Thanks, man. And I appreciate
nice
and you've been one of those that have been there like a soldier. You know, you're just like you know.
Justin is, and there's a couple more. I don't want to single out anyone.
Yes. Hang on, we got two people here.
We got a few people
We got Brian, another one of the soldiers of the Casa de Vinos, and we got also Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well. Congratulations. 10 years. That's outstanding. I think I could just echo what everybody else said. It's been amazing, the service, the quality of whiskeys, the tastings. We've done one hell of a masterclass the last 9 months, and can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, man.
And the whiskeys are awesome. Both the Sullivans and the Chichibu are amazing. Well done.
Thank you very much. People don't understand, and
Cheers, Brian.
Cheers, Brian, and highlighting all this. It's very difficult for people that has not been on quarantine for 9 months. What is to bond with customers that almost friends now, you know? So that's why they mean a lot to us. It's been difficult for our psychology and our personal, and we got all through this. Now we are out. We are on the beach and might go to the beach tomorrow. I cut it off after I go and pick up the little bottles for I went to fill next week. But you know, we got through.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And with these guys,
thanks to these amazing people, like Justin, like Brian, like Tom, like everybody. Jackie Chan, you want to highlight now? Jose,
there we go. Jackie Chan and their misfits. There we go. And Jackie and Dean, how are you? If he was
well,
this is one of my favorite persons in the whole world. You've been to Chichibu with me. You've seen Yumi, and you know, you're smoking indoors. I don't know that's legal anymore. But,
that's good.
Thank you so much for joining, for supporting us. What do you reckon about the tasting and the whiskeys tonight?
The Sullivans Cove is probably the second time around, possibly one of the best whiskies I have tried this year. The new Sullivans Cove that you've got. I mean, well done, Fred. It's pretty amazing. And just to revisit the Chichibu again, it sort of brings back a lot of memories when we went for that little visit a couple of years back. Just really great, the whole range. Just to see the development of whiskies from the two different whiskies, the two different distillers I got to try over this period of time, Sullivans Cove and the Chichibu, it's just out of this world.
Jackie, for everyone to know, I'm going to remove the spotlight. The photo I was showing about the egg, the Chichibu egg, is a photo that Jackie just forwarded me when we were together at Chichibu a couple of years ago. So that was an amazing visit. That was
experience.
It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jackie, big supporter of you, Jose, and in the shop. A great partnership. Back to the view, Jose. I think
I want to thank one more person, and I'm going to spotlight. Let me spotlight myself. This is Yumiko-san. How are you? And Yuji. They are one of my best friends in Japan. They are people that has helped me with paperwork for so long. Just translated me, and they are together with Yumi, and I one of the most lovely people I ever met. You got an amazing store. You're the envy of a lot of people in this chat now with that backward you got there. It's an amazing store. They own a store called Claude Whiskies in Gifu, south of Japan, quite close to Osaka.
It's amazing.
Thank you, Yumiko, for all the support all these years.
Thank you very much, Jose, and I'm very happy for your happy anniversary of 10th years. And
Thank you very much.
We are very great to business with you, and you give a lot of people a lot of joy of whiskey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yumiko. You are Yuji, some of the best friends I've ever met, some of the most honest people that I ever met, and I'm going to add now
some of those casks, those dream casks.
We're going to add now show. We're going to add now Fred. We're going to add Taro.
A little bit of around the grounds, if
yeah,
you like.
around the grounds. And Yumi. There we go. We got to add ourselves too, because this is where I was.
That's
Add
us.
spotlight. There we go. The hosts and us. Thank you, all of you. Do we got Heather in there? Maybe if she's still she's maybe, but she's she's got another photo there.
Yeah.
He's turning the camera on.
Yeah.
I want to just raise a toast and thank you for all the support you've given us for so many years. Without your support, we wouldn't be where we are. Any whiskey store is as good as their bottles are, and for the I'm so thankful for you guys to give me allocations for us to share with customers and make our store special. And I feel I owe you for a long time for helping me and my family, to succeed. And Jono is part of the family today, so, thank you very much.
Cheers. And I think that it's probably time for me to say, and Jose, it would be too indulgent of you to say anything too much about the store, and I know that's not really your personality, and you probably wouldn't. But at the end of the day, this is the 10th birthday celebration of your store. You've got some amazing, beautiful 10th birthday whiskies bottled here, and I guess all of the people that are on here tonight and the whiskies we're trying, at the end of the day, a testament to a lot of hard work you've put in to get to where you are, and for us to be able to have this platform and all of these things happen. So I guess on behalf of everybody, all of us in the Zoom, Jose, and to you and Alana, a big thank you and a massive congratulations, because this isn't something that's easy. You've worked very bloody hard, and what's been the amalgamation of a lot of hard work, and it's not all amazing times of drinking beautiful single cask whiskies. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, excuse the cliche, that goes into it. And you've done it, and you've worked incredibly hard, and it's gotten you to this amazing point where you're probably, and in my opinion, one of the biggest figures in Australian whiskey, and someone who I look up to and idolize a lot. And the tasting tonight has been an amazing expression and representation of what Casa de Vinos is and what you've been able to do. So cheers, Jose. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you,
Here,
everyone.
Here, well
Thanks,
said,
everyone.
John.
And we cannot
That
leave
man
John,
a raise.
we cannot leave John without the toast.
The Casa de Vinos toast to finish
Yes.
off. I feel like you should do it, Jose.
No, I don't know the
You
letters.
don't know it. All
You need to
right.
write it down for me.
All right. Well,
Jono.
the new Casa de Vinos toast, and on behalf of Jose, and the biggest things are friends in this industry and all of that and what's happened tonight. And so we just want to reiterate that some ships are wooden ships and those ships might sink, but the best ships are friendships. And to those ships,
we drink.
We drink.
Hey.
Thank you, everyone, for another 10 years and more. And take care.
Take care, man.
Amazing.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Have a good night.
Cheers, guys. I'll take this one.
Yeah.
Bye.